Little black book, you know what time it is. Time it is. Time it is. Time it is. Time it is.
You look great, Nakia.
Nakia, let's talk Nakia now. I don't even know where to start because obviously Nakia, we see her in the first episode. Who was she connecting with now? It's gone out of my brain who she connected with in the first episode. It was Colin, which was a double one because he had two bands from Sarah and himself. Okay, yeah. How did you see that particular situation? Which actually is interesting. That's the same episode, that episode 2, where he gets called as, well, someone says he's the F boy. That might be episode 1 still. Yeah, where Chris the snitch.
A snitches get snitches
Stitches,
scenario. Yes, he was snitched on and was told to Nakia that he is an F boy. I knew that they were gonna find him attractive because he's very clean cut, put together, and like, you know, he's good looking or whatever aesthetically. But you know, I think sometimes when you get that big of a head start, like, because remember, he got 2 bracelets. He got a bracelet from Sarah and he got a bracelet from Nakia. So that made him a target amongst the men. So remember, we talked about this competitive energy that's about to come out a lot. You start to see the different competitive types or approaches. You have people like Chris in the mix, who's gonna see you as a threat and like throw salt on your name and do everything to try to tear you down and assassinate your character.
But if we have to play a little dirty, I have no problem doing that. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you know, you might as well just snip those things off, throw them in the trash.
I've been patient. I've waited all night for this moment.
And then you'll have other guys who will try to physically come in between, you know, you and the girl. There are other guys who will, you know, try to, I don't know. So there's different ways to do it.
I will.
Reserved.
I gotta get
For
white
3
wine,
minutes.
right? All right, I got
3
you.
minutes
I got
only.
you. I got you.
Oh my God.
How you doing?
And yeah, he got thrown under the bus, and that kind of like tainted Nakia's
Image of him.
perception of him.
Yeah. And obviously, I think Colin's a very confident guy. I think the very first thing for me really was, I think that how he behaved at the mixer too, because I think when she was talking to Cameron and he cut in, I said in my head, I said, Nakia, if you want to change who you're going for, and a man approaches you like this might be one of those flags that you start waving. Now, I know you got excited and I thought it was really, you know, that's the kind of man that I like. I said, yeah, but if you've got a track record of not picking the right guys and a man enters like that, he's willing to step on other man's toes. You have to remember how men are. If a man is willing to step on another man's toe, it means he's ready for war. But if he's ready for war, you have to be very conscious that you are also part of his tribe now, right? If he wars, you war. You don't need that. Right? Cameron looked like he was going to fight at first. He looked like he wanted to fight, but then he chilled it down, right?
Is he supposed to be coming back? Oh, yes. It's over for that.
You already lost the big
Whoa,
fella.
oh, hell no.
You're going to have to go.
You gonna take up my time? You can't take up my time.
Okay,
Rule number 1, you never leave your girl.
Right? But if a man's, I get it, right? Because I think Colin's very smart. He knew it's a show. Cameron can't do nothing. I don't think he does this in real life. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he sees Cameron and then thinks to himself, I slip in there in real life. But it's a show. He can get away with it. If Cameron decides to fight now, he's ejected. He weighed up the pros and the cons of making this killer move, right? But I was like, is that what you want? I say, I know you like the confidence. I like the confidence. I'm seeing the confidence from Colin. It's amazing. But is that going to be how you want to start the procession of you guys kind of going forward? That was my only little thing, just as an observation from a perspective of if you want to change your ways, you might want to change the way that you're enjoying these men. But then again, maybe she doesn't like Cameron, and actually he saved her from Cameron. Maybe that was it.
I hear what you're saying, and on some level, I do agree. Like, I think, you know, if you want to have different results, you have to change your patterns of like going about things, for sure. But I think also like women, especially women who like to be pursued, we like a man who's confident, and certain displays of confidence can like make us feel like, okay, so this guy is willing to like, he's not afraid of another man, and he's willing to put himself in a potentially harmful situation to like win me over, you know? And I know that that's toxic in itself, because it's like, you know, you shouldn't want that type of dynamic, but that is the message that it's communicating to the woman. And that's intoxifying for the woman. Like, it's intoxicating, I'm sorry, for the woman, because it's like, oh, okay, he got a little edge. He's not afraid, you know, he might have a little bravery about him and things like that. Plus, this is a competitive scenario, and there's only a limited amount of time that the men have time to talk to the ladies. So the guys that tend to hang back and just let everybody have their time, you know, they typically don't get noticed, and they, you know, didn't make any impressionable connections with the ladies. So it does require, in a space like this or a dynamic like this, for a guy to be assertive and like take that lead and, you know, step in. And this happens in regular life, you know, situations like when you're at the bar and stuff, right? If you're at the bar with your girls and a guy like sees you from across the room, and all the other guys are seeing you too, but none of them are approaching you. But the guy that approaches you and isn't afraid to come in the mix of you and your girls and like show you attention and, you know, talk to you, like that might put a little edge, or okay. Or like if a guy comes and is like, oh, can I have a dance with you after you've been kind of dancing with this other guy? It's kind of like, oh, so you really interested? Or it just shows a level of like assertiveness and interest that I think that the woman actually ends up finding a little flattering. But you have to do it in the right doses to where you're not like a scary monster, you know, because if you're doing it too aggressively, it could be scary. Like, is this not a safe person? You know,
the fact that Colin is coming in to talk to me in the middle of me and Cameron's conversation is wild. That's kind of rude, but I like it, so it's fine.
Or is he being too much of a creep? And I think Colin kind of did it in the right dose in that particular scenario.
I think he did in the right dose because she fancies him, nothing else.
That's true too. Nothing
else. And I'll say this. So you made a great point, right? But you added an extra step in there. You said when the guy sees he comes over, but he asks. That's the difference. Colin didn't ask. Colin didn't say, can I have a minute of your time after you're done with Cameron? No, he didn't. He waited for Cameron to come in, jumped in, you know, took the seat over. It honestly, and this is the kind of stuff that we see on movies, and that's what I was saying about the whole thing, where it's that sometimes we want that wooing and we want that seduction, right? Because the movies tell us this. That was a movie move. The anti-hero kind of guy, bad boy, you know what I'm saying, sees a good guy with a girl, jumps in, you know, gets involved. The girl's now looking at the bad boy like, oh my god, she feeling all nice because he's pursuing her in a way that makes her feel so special because he's willing to do all these daring feats. It's almost like it's a part of art. It's also a part of art of seduction as well. So you know, but it's almost like moving like Hercules. It's like you're gonna go through all these different challenges, and that proves that you really want me. And yes, it does prove that he really wants you, but does it prove that this guy is really for you? And that's the big difference we want to see. We want to see men that are for you. And that move there, I wonder what would have happened if she had said, look, I appreciate that, but actually, do you know what? Me and Cameron hadn't finished. Would he have had the same confidence after and bravado after? Maybe he might have done, right? But then when you do that, if we're talking about power demonstration, you would have set the pace. But you let him do that, he's going to take a mile after this. See, this is what's going to happen. And then now I'm going to get a call from Nakia saying, I don't know if Colin really is really for me. I don't know if he really loves me. And I'm going to be like, Nakia, well, how did it start? Right? and I'm going to have to explain the situation. Like, how you started is how he's going to finish. If he didn't have respect for the other man, do you think he's going to have respect when he's with you, with other men? Look, you want to be safe? That's not a safe move. Mandem don't do those. The reason why mandem don't come and, for instance, when you're walking with another man, the reason why men don't come when you got a man next to you is because if I do and he is your man, that's war.
Mhm.
Do you understand? So the fact that you didn't see and Cameron's not a small boy. Cameron's not a small boy either, right? So you thought you just jump in there, steal a move, and I'm saying, all right, cool. All right. I'm telling you now, I don't see him being a good guy. But that's just my perspective. He might be a good guy, but I'm looking at it going from an analytical point of view. That for me is an F-boy move right there. It's not the confidence that is an F-boy. It's the fact that in that moment, to respect the other man, you didn't. And that's where I go, you're now moving in an area of darkness that I know when you're an F-boy, when you're moving man, you don't care what other people do. It's about you and you only. And I think Nakia probably might find that out as it goes along the episodes. But that move there alone should have told her, this guy, it seems sweet and nice that he's pursuing his way, but you might have wanted to set a boundary, said to him, listen, I appreciate that, but you're going to have to wait your turn. You'd have had more power in that moment if you did that.
But isn't that what Nakia said she wanted? She said that she also wanted a nice guy with F-boy tendencies or like F-boy energy or whatever like that. They all said it. Like they want the nice guy, but they want him to have this F-boy energy. And I think what they mean by that F-boy energy is that competitive nature.
I agree.
You know? And they misinterpret that as, oh, they're competitive for me. But no, F-boys are competitive to win, period. Like, they want to win. And if you're the prize, okay, then they won you. Great, congratulations, you're a trophy now, you know? But if not, and so I think it's interesting too, because you see the difference in dynamics, the way, you know, nice guys versus F-boys kind of approach the competition, right? A nice guy will wait for his moment of opportunity to come to him, and like when she feels comfortable, we can have a conversation. An F-boy is going to inject himself and butt in and get the time and like force his way in. So, yeah, but I mean, there. As much as I hate to say it, though, in this scenario, because this is a competition.
Yes,
right?
it is. Yeah,
game
that's
show,
the point.
like, and there's limited amount of time that you have. It does require a bit of that level of competitive edge in this particular scenario. And I think ultimately the reason why they say nice guys finish last is because they are hanging in the back.
Passivity.
They don't exactly. It's a little bit of a passiveness where they're so respectful of your time and your space, which is a great quality to have, but you actually end up doing it to a fault, to where you actually are not allowing yourself the opportunity to make meaningful connections or like really establish that spark and like that connection. Colin jumping in, he was establishing an impression. He was creating excitement. He was, you know, leaving an impression on her to where she can go away now thinking like, wow, like he really likes me, or he must really like me. I mean, whether he does or not, you know, she's going to have to figure that out, and he's going to have to prove that. But at the end of the day, it's leaving that type of an impression on her. Is she going to remember the conversation she was having with Cameron before he butted in? Probably.
I know, I'm a good kid. We'll talk. We'll talk.
No,
we'll talk. We'll talk. You want a F-boy? I'm not in the same category. We obviously don't have something in common.
Probably not, and that was a strategic move on what's his name's part. Like, in an environment like this, you do kind of have, like, don't be such a nice guy that you're not competitive enough, or you don't have the edge to like go after what you want. Like, you hear women say this all the time. I like a man that can go after what he wants and knows what he wants and da 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 da. Like, part of it is like what we mean, like not too much to where you are obsessive and all of that, but we want to know that like you really like me and that you're willing to go to a length or challenge yourself to get to me, you know? So I get it.
I get it too. So I think this is for me. I think this is a very important part for the ladies now. This is your part now, right? The approach is quintessential, because if there's any disrespect in there towards any man or woman, more than likely that person is going to disrespect you.
That.
Right? Because that's the difference between, we're talking about good boys, F boys, nice guys. Nice guys are not approaching at all. They're watching you from the bar on the other side. The good guys can approach. They have a level of confidence. But when they approach, there's a level of respect that comes towards you and your friends and anybody around you. They don't disrespect. F boys don't give a hoots about what's around you. You know what I'm saying? Because their whole ethos, and you see with Garrett too, right? He wanted to steal her away, get that time, ask her straight away. Sarah, I'm talking about Sarah now. Stealing away, ask Sarah for the band, which I thought was just, I don't know why Sarah gave it to him. I was like, he gonna push for the band? You gonna give it to him? I said, girl, you a pushover. But you know, I said that's soft. But yeah, you know, like there's a level of respect that comes into it. And like I said, because every man knows, unless I'm ready to go to war, I don't disrespect fellow men. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to know, oftentimes the approach, the level of respect should be absolutely impeccable. And then when a man really does think the girl is some level to him, you're gonna sense some confidence, but you're gonna sense, I don't want to say apprehension, there's a little dosage of anxiety. Let me tell you something. Look, I know one guy, we used to roll together. Yeah, this guy used to get girls all the time. Fine ass, bro. You know them 6 foot guys, light skin, tatters up, playing basketball, looking all good, talking good, charming, everything about them, sex good, everything about him just perfect, cuz. Yeah, and we were out in Ibiza back in the day, yeah, and we went out, and there was 3 girls, and they were fire, right? Fire, just dripping in, just anointing, yeah. And we saw the girls, right? And I said to him, bro, I'll take this one there, you take this one there, da, right? Now I'm not always a confident one. And those times he's a more confident one. And he's like, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. This one's I'm feeling a little bit nervous. I said to him, what? No, I know the girl's fire, but bro, why are you nervous, bro? This is your thing. This is what you do. He said, bro, no, but the thing is fire. I'm looking at him like, and I didn't realize that even though this is what he does every day, he gets girls here, left, right, and center, plays girls left, right, and center, that initial approach, there is a level of tinging nervousness there, right? When you're about to approach something that you really want. If you're not getting that, you need to ask a really serious question. If you're not feeling any of that energy, that person's a cold-hearted killer. Get out of there. Okay.
No, I definitely agree with you. So, and I think that's where, especially women who have immature mind frames, or they haven't fully developed or experienced enough things in life, where they can misinterpret masculine, like they can misinterpret certain things as being, you know, this masculine energy that they're looking for, but it's the wrong kind. So a good guy or a guy can be assertive and competitive and all of that without being disrespectful, like you said. The F-boy will disrespect is in his heart. So like you said, if he's gonna disrespect another man or, you know, whatever, what's stopping him from disrespecting you when he feels the urge to do so? So yeah, I definitely agree with you. But then a woman who is a little bit more immature in her mind frame, she's gonna misinterpret that energy. Yeah, she's gonna think that, oh, Colin, who interrupted, he's, you know, assertive and like a masculine man and like competing for me. Whereas, you know, if someone else did it in a different way, she might interpret it as, oh, you know, he's cute, or he, you know, he's a little nice guy, or, you know, whatever the case. Like, she may misinterpret those signs if she's not keen on discernment, like in that area. So
that's true. No, I'm hearing you on that. Yeah.
So do you think I'm F-boy?
You know, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. No. Because I think you're handsome. I think you're very attractive. I think you take care of your image.
Handsome, this, that. Baby, he already know, baby. Okay? You ain't gotta soften the blow for him. He asked you a question, do you think it's an F-boy? You just need to leave that mystery. Okay?
Remember you did a video recently about, like, don't tell the guy what you're looking for in a girl.
Yes.
And otherwise he could just mold himself into that. I feel like that's a little bit of what Colin was doing. I think he was kind of fishing for, like, her perspective so that he can then mold himself into whatever it is that's gonna make her feel like he's not an F boy. Like, I need to know if you think I'm an F boy, so I can convince you otherwise. You know, like that's literally what he was doing.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. And and the reason being again is even when you just hear it there, Nakia has sold the goods already.
Really? What did she say?
When she said, okay, so she's already telling him, listen, and I don't think there's anything wrong in this, right? But you gotta just, it's the way you say it, right? So you gotta be coy rather than be so blasé. She's blasé saying, you know, you're a good looking guy. When you said that, I've won. I'm gonna ruin you. I'm gonna ruin you because I already got a buy-in. The fact you have to tell me that. Remember, this dance, when you make it overt, that really means you're really feeling me. If you're dancing with me, I should feel that you like me, but I'm never quite sure. That keeps me on my toes. But when you say it overtly, there is no dance. I've won, right, at that moment. And I'm going to ruin you from here on outwards, because why you're telling me is because you're actually invested now. That's why you're telling me. You're actually invested. So, like, and do you know what? It's so funny. I was just going through my DMs. I was like, and I was just thinking about it. And I was like, okay, if I speak to a girl now, maybe 5 years ago, yeah, maybe a little bit short now, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, when I spoke to a girl, I would feel the need to inject that, oh, you look buff, Why? I'm scared. Like, I have to put that in there quickly. She needs to know that I like it. Why?
Turn good.
I think anyone can change, but I also believe that they have to decide they want to change. But I'm not like looking to change with F-boy.
No.
There's a whole dance that everybody does. We know the dance, but when you're desperate, you kind of say something to make the person make sure they know that you don't need to. My energy, my time, people are reading that. My effort, my attention to detail, the fact that I'm asking it with intention and questions, that is enough to know that I'm trying to be invested in you. So the moment I make it overt that, you know, you look good, and when I've done that, and remember, we're trying to figure out whether you're an F-boy or not. This is not a relationship thing. We're trying to find out if you're an F-boy or not. When you release that information, you sold yourself. Right? You don't, like, girls do it all the time. They do this little thing, and I watch them, and they're like, wait, you know you're a good-looking guy. Don't say that. Don't. You know he knows that. Don't say it. Oh, you know you're a good-looking guy. You know, so I don't trust them. Don't make statements like that. Just don't. You're oversharing. Don't do it. It sounds good at the moment because you're trying to like tease it. No. Okay? All right? No. You'll notice that when you're dealing with guys who make you feel safe and you're not on edge, you never make comments like, you know you're a good-looking guy and you're dangerous. You don't make